So we're looking camera, I'm looking at you.
Look at me, that'll be tight on you.
So that's just a follow-up.
Wide.
Yep.
So, all right, we are here, 2015 NAB Show, again, another episode of Anthony Hits the Couch. I've got Robbie Carman. So Robbie.
Hey Anthony, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man, many titles. Where do I begin?
Well, you know, I primarily consider myself a colorist, television and film colorist, doing color grading, color correction. Also an author. I do a lot of education stuff, so I write a lot of books, do a lot of online training, speak at conferences, obviously like NAB.
Yep.
But you know, my first love is color correction and helping clients to run a small little boutique facility based in the Washington, D.C. area in Silver Spring, doing broadcast work and color grading. We do pretty much just that. I mean, we grade mainly broadcasts, probably about 300 hours or so a year for all the various networks like Nat Geo and Discovery and PBS and that kind of stuff. And in my amazing amount of free time, I decided to do you know, speaking events and writing and that kind of stuff. And I also run a color grading website that I'm really proud of called mixinglight.com, which is it's a membership site all about the art and craft of color grading. So if you know you're interested in, you know, how do I grade in Premiere Pro or Final Cut 10 or Resolve or whatever, we have you covered. And
a testament to how busy you are, you live like 10 minutes away from us and I have to come to Vegas to see you.
Well, yeah, so I have a lot of friends that are like that. It's the strangest thing. It's like, hey man, let's go grab a beer, and the next thing you know, 5,000 miles away, we run into each other. So yeah, absolutely.
It is a small world. So color grading, I mean, it's obviously so important. It really enhances this stuff. But as we see more and more of these cameras coming out with so much dynamic range, so many stops of light, for $1,000 you can get a camera that you need to spend more time in post with than you do on set. So talk to us about the importance of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that color is on everybody's mind these days. You know, 5, 10 years ago, if I came to the show and I said to somebody, oh, we're just going to apply a LUT or a lookup table to something, they look at you like you had 3 heads, right? But now, because of a lot of the work that, you know, Arri has done and Canon's done and Blackmagic has done, and all these companies have really pushed sort of what traditionally has been, you know, kind of digital cinema technology, shooting log, shooting raw, all these kind of things. Now when people get this footage, it's not just what I call regular video, right? They can't just shoot it, do nothing to it, and have it go somewhere. They look at it and go, well, that doesn't look very good. And so they want to do something about that, and that's where the color grading stuff has come in. And you know, I'm really excited about some of the stuff that you know, Adobe's doing, and Blackmagic's doing with Resolve, and Adobe with Premiere and SpeedGrade, because these are tools that everybody's using. And you know, 10 years ago they were $250,000 tools. You know, and now that's accessible to editors, it's accessible to producers, directors, and getting people thinking about color can only be good. You know, for me, you know, a lot of people say, aren't you worried that, you know, hey, you can do all these things in Premiere Pro now that you used to only be able to do somewhere? No, not at all, because I think what it does is it takes, you know, it takes the tools out of it. The tools are kind of ubiquitous now. We can all do more or less kind of the same things, and it puts it back to the talent. You know, and it's like, that's why colorists will still exist, because of the talent in their eye and what they do. But, you know, at the bottom line, more people thinking about color, the better it is for everybody, I think.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, everything with the technology in this industry is anyone can now shoot HD, but you still need the artist. You know, the technical side is becoming the easiest thing to achieve.
Well, you know, it's funny, I tell clients all the time, they're like, oh, well, we rented an Alexa or rented an Epic or whatever, and then they're like, you know, they come back and they're like, why doesn't that look like Skyfall? And I'm like, well, you know, they had a 50-ton grip truck, I don't know, the set design, you know, all
DP.
Right, all of these things that people don't think about. They go and just, so it's not just about the technology, it's about the hows, the whys, the craft. You know, one of the things that we teach a lot when the color grading training we do is not just like, hey, here's the slider, move it up and down, but it's why are you doing that, you know? Why am I trying to isolate somebody's face or their skin tone? Why am I adding shadow here and brightness here and that kind of stuff? And you know, that's the part that excites me, is when people kind of doing teaching stuff, when they kind of go, oh, I get it, and they can kind of see past the tool and really how it's going to improve their images, their story, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you literally wrote the book. I always joke, like, anytime when I went from Final Cut to Premiere, I'd be like, yeah, I Googled this thing, and I'm watching this video, and I'm like, Robbie Carman, geez.
Well, you know, man, it's funny. You know, the education stuff to me. I just gave another interview this morning, and somebody was just like, you know, how do you split your time? And I say, you know, 90% of it is in the suite, grading with clients and doing that work. But why do you do the education stuff? Wouldn't you rather just go home and, like, you know, take a nap, play with your kids, you know, whatever? And you know, sometimes I feel that way, but a lot of times I don't, because I mean, I think you know, to me, it's a little bit of a yin and yang thing. Like, you know, I'm so busy in the suite, but getting out of there and then seeing, like, you know, that one person that you kind of connect to, and they go, oh, now I get it. That makes it worth it to me, you know. So I keep pushing on that kind of stuff. So it's fun.
Very cool. So let's talk about what got you into this. Like, why that side? Like, why the color? What? I mean, I told you, I gave you a warning. Your background is a rock star when you were in high school. Yeah.
Well, when I figured out after high school that I was not going to be a rock star,
Heather will be disappointed.
Right, I know, right? That's when I kind of realized, I want to do something that's practical. And I've always had a love of music and recording arts and sciences. Originally that's what I thought I was going to go to school to do, not to be a rock star, but to do audio recording, mixing, that kind of stuff. And early on in school, I got asked. I was recording some stuff for a band, the college I went to, and they were like, "Hey man, we got this little pocket camera. Can you help shoot us?" And that kind of, 20 years ago now, made this transition to kind of doing more with video. And it's actually funny. I had a conversation last night with somebody at the Super Meet, and it was an audio guy. He was like, "I'm so interested in color," and I'm like, we kind of realized that there's a lot of parallels between the world of audio and color. I mean, it's all about energy and frequencies and refining and making better. And so you actually talk to if you talk to a lot of colorists, a lot of them do actually have backgrounds in audio and editing and these kind of things. So they're very kind of synonymous things. But to me, I realized after I got more into video stuff that I never really wanted to be an editor per se. I mean, craft editing I really appreciate, but I don't have the patience to be like, this shot or this shot. How does it make you feel in the story? Like that. I'm like, that's cool. I appreciate people who do it. I was always more of a technical person, right? So I always like to fix, that shot has problems like interlacing issues and blanking, or we got to up-res. And so, when I started doing, getting into the world of editorial, I quickly realized that that's the stuff I love to do. And kind of in the early days of NLE work, the color tools weren't great. But slowly but surely I started doing more and more color work for clients in the Avid and obviously then early days of Final Cut and stuff. And clients were like, "Oh, I like that, I like that." And slowly but surely I started into it. And then by 2004, 2005, I really started calling myself a colorist because I really wasn't doing any editorial type stuff anymore.
What's the one tool that you can't do a job without?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm a Da Vinci guy pretty much through and through. That's where I learned grading originally, and something that we built our facility around. But that doesn't mean I don't want to make people think that I'm all just about Resolve or Da Vinci. I mean, we obviously
speak at the Adobe booth.
Right? Yeah, I speak to the Adobe booth. So I'm kind of platform agnostic like that. But Resolve is one thing, and I think as a colorist who needs to work on thousands of shots in a day or two, Resolve is great. My control panel for running Resolve obviously helps me out. Also has the ooh and ah factor. Clients walk in the room, they go, it's like the Starship Enterprise. It's like that kind of stuff. So. The thing about tools is I've always looked at them as, like I'm opportunistic about them. If there's something that can help me right then and there, get it. But I don't have diehard passion for any one thing. It's all about what makes the job easier for me and ultimately makes it, better for my client.
And then one thing about the show specific, what were you did you get to walk the floor at all, or have you been teaching?
Yeah, I've been teaching a lot, but I walked the floor a little bit this morning. I'm going to kind of try to do it this afternoon a little bit as well.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, I got a chance to walk the floor this morning a little bit. I'm going to do this afternoon. The thing about this show is that you could literally be here at 9 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m. for 4 days in a row, and you probably still wouldn't, see everything. So obviously, for what I do, the action is down in the South Hall. So I'm really excited. I want to check out the new Blackmagic cameras. They're kind of pushing the bounds there. That's going to be kind of cool. Resolve 12, obviously, big for me. Kind of already know a little bit about it, but I want to get kind of a up-close look. Obviously, I'm speaking at the Adobe booth this week, so I'm really excited about that. And then on my mind, what I'm looking for a little bit more of kind of enterprise level stuff. I'm really interested in kind of remote grading and sharing video over the cloud, but at full quality and that kind of stuff. We have a lot of clients now that we're finding, who are in different geographic locations, right? So I'm looking for solutions that help support, can I do 4K streaming in real time to somebody,
across the ocean,
across the ocean and that kind of thing. So yeah.
Very cool. Cool. Well, Robbie, where can people find you?
Yeah, so my grading company is called Amigo Media. You can just find us at amigomediallc.com. The color grading website that I run is called Mixing Light, so you can find us there at mixinglight.com. And then if you're on the old Twitter, I'm just at Robbie Carman. It's one car, one man.
Perfect. Robbie, thank you so much.
Hey man, dude, really appreciate it.
Enjoy the show, and we'll see you back in DC.
All right, thanks.
Cool.